Warm wishes to all. On behalf of the Women's Cell of Arulmigu Palaniyandavar Arts College for Women, Palani, I take it a pleasure to welcome you all to this one-day national level gender equity program on psychic level and mental stability of women during COVID-19. At the outset, I thank our management for proceeding with the vote. I extend my hearty thanks to our Madam Principal, Dr. N. Bhuvneshwari, for granting us permission to conduct the program, which is the need of the hour. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants from our institution and from other colleges and universities. We have decided to fix Mrs. M. Deepa as today's resource person because she is one of the brilliant students of Arulmigu Palaniyandavar Arts College for Women. She was the university rank holder in BA. She did her BL in Government Law College, Trichy, and LLM in National Law University, Jodhpur. She was the university rank holder and gold medalist in BL and LLM. She has acted as the resource person for various seminars in law colleges. She has published journals and articles related to legal issues. She is now a lawyer cum assistant professor of cyber law and security, working in Government Law College, Trichy. I assure definitely she will lead the session in a lively and interesting manner. The session is now open for Mrs. Deepa. Thank you.
Hello all, warm greetings everyone. I am Deepa Manikkam, lawyer and assistant professor of law, Tamil Nadu National Law University, Tiruchirappalli. I am glad for having delivered a lecture on psychic level and mental stability of women during COVID-19. As far as the topic is concerned, it is considered as the contemporary and sensitive issue that needs to be addressed. And participants, please pass on your queries to the coordinators and I'll answer all of your queries. I would like to extend my gratitude to the convener, Principal Madam, Dr. N. Bhuvneshwari, and Dr. Selvi Madam, Head of the Department of English, and also the coordinators and the management for having given me this opportunity. Thank you. Hello all. The topic for the program is psychic level and mental stability of women during COVID-19. The rationale for the topic is women's health is inextricably linked to their status in society. Today, the status and well-being of countless and millions of women worldwide remains tragically very low. Hence, acknowledgement is the first step which will then lead to changes in policy. So let us discuss each and every factor of mental health in detail. Yes, what is gender equity? Wait, why are we discussing gender equity here? What is the relationship between gender equity and mental health of women during COVID-19? Yes, the answer is gender equity is really a very broad topic, and mental health of women, which will form part and parcel of the gender equity head. That is the reason we'll be discussing on the first hand what is gender equity and its factors. Then we'll be moving on to the further slides. Yes, in this slide we'll be discussing what is equity, but before that let us discuss the difference between equality and equity. I guess you can easily analyze by seeing the picture. That is, equality is sameness, equity is fairness. If you could see, in equity, everyone could see the playground, but that is not the same case with equality. In equity, it is nothing but to ensure that people get access to the same opportunities and obligations, or maybe to be simply put in fairness of treatment for men and women in terms of rights and benefits. Equity is always the means to achieve the end target, equality. And through gender equity, we are also achieving Sustainable Development Goal number 10, which says reduce inequality within and among countries, because inequality is a roadblock to progress when it deprives people of opportunity. Thus, our program is gender equity program, and our topic would apparently fall under the head of gender equity. So henceforth I'll be discussing the mental health and psychic level of just women, and it is always just not, I'm not just sticking to Indian women, I'm just sticking to the women worldwide, and I have given all the references there in my last slide, and let us discuss everything in detail. So here is the introduction for the topic. Let me start with the very basic definition of what is mental health. As per World Health Organization, mental health means emotional, psychological and social well-being. To be simple, who are you, how you speak or how you act, how are you defined by other people, these can be considered or included under the definition of mental health. Now moving on to our topic, that is psychic level and mental stability. So what does that mean? Psychic level is nothing but the mental emotional level of a person. So here it is of a woman. And mental stability level, so how are they stable enough to maintain their stresses, how are they capable enough to maintain their pandemic stress. So these things are to be discussed in our upcoming detailed study. Next is a very important thing to be discussed is Mental Health Act 2017, so which came into force in 2018. That is Mental Health Act 2018 was enacted to protect, promote and fulfill the rights of mentally ill persons during delivery of mental health care and mental health care services, etc. Let me give you an example. If a person is mentally ill, he'll be taken care by the mental health care services given, that is, say for example, it might be a government hospital, or it might be say a homeopathy hospital, or it might be any other institutions which provide or protect their well-being, and they will almost, that is the institutions will always prefer to give health care for the mentally ill persons. So Mental Health Act 2017 was a quite successful one when it was enacted, but unfortunately, even in spite of having Mental Health Care Act 2017, there were rapid increase of suicide cases due to depression. NCRB report says that 17% of total suicides of women happened, that 17% of women, it is nothing but all homemakers. So all total suicides happened in 2018, and that is nothing but India had seen an increase of 3.6% suicide cases in comparison to 2017. So what is the reason behind these deaths? Is death only the answer, or is dying only the answer for depression and stresses? So we are going to discuss all these things in further slides, and I'll also be telling you how to overcome all these mental disorders, or we call it as mental illness. Here in the slide again I have given you statistics given by IFS, Institute of Physical Studies, which says people aged 16 to 24, almost girls, they are more exposed, or additional number of or percentage of women are experiencing mental health problem during this pandemic, so much more than usual. So just have in mind, we'll also be discussing about the normal mental health of all women, that is women of all ages, and mental health of women of all ages during COVID-19. All right, just moving to the next one. All right, so in this slide I had given women of 1 to 12 years of age, maybe I should say it is little ladies, In my upcoming slide, I had categorically given the ages of women for our convenient understanding. In this slide, I had given the mental health disorders, and at the same time, I had also given the ways to cope up the same. The very first disorder is excessive crying and irritation. During this pandemic, the disorders will always be, mental disorders will always be higher when compared to the, normal environment. Very first thing is irritation and excessive crying. It is not always necessary for a 4 years or 5 years old girl to understand pandemic, lockdown, quarantine, etc. So if you give some instructions or force her to do something, that will cause irritation, and as a result they'll be crying. And if they start to cry, of course they'll have, if they have the irritation persistently, it will lead to unhealthy eating habits. As a result of unhealthy eating habits, that will all maybe result in physical illness. The third one is regressed developmentally, which is a very simple thing, that is, they won't achieve the milestones which are supposed to be achieved in a very normal ambience. The fourth one is PTSD. I'll be discussing about this post-traumatic stress disorder even in my upcoming slides, which means, that is, post-traumatic stress disorder means a disorder by failure to recover after experiencing a terrifying event. I'll give you an example. A girl of 5 years old is undergoing a terrifying event, that is pandemic, because from her perception it is always a terrifying event, because you would not allow her to go out, you would not allow her to see her friends, you would not allow her to go for the playground, etc. So for her, from her perception, it will always be a terrifying event, and she would have failed to recover after experiencing this terrifying event. So the stress disorder is considered as post-traumatic stress disorder. So once a terrifying event has happened, the stress disorder will be applicable post the terrifying event. So that will actually be very, not so much healthy for babies, toddlers, and little ladies. And how to cope up all these problems? The very first one is respond supportively. It is almost for all parents. Please respond supportively. Whenever they want something, just give them extra time and encouragement. Play with them. Just sit, relax with them, talk with them. Learn from them what they are in actually need of, and respond to them, immediately. I know that, in this pandemic, everyone has work from home, everyone is busy with, household chores, etc. But still, future of a childhood days of a kid is really, mandatory, I should say, to shape up the whole future of the child. So it is better, give time for them, respond immediately to them, play with them. That's a very important thing which they are in need of. Of course, they can't meet their friends, you go play with them. All right. Now I'm coming to a double bubble strategy. Double bubble strategy is nothing but New Zealand actually had followed double bubble strategy, and they are successful enough in announcing that they are free from corona virus. That is double bubble strategy. Let me explain it. They are calling double bubble strategy as, two families or three families fusing up. Basically, only two families fusing up, so that if you fuse up two families, you'll not have that particular, feeling of isolation, loneliness, etc. So they're trying to fuse up the families, but provided that you should be really responsible enough to follow all precautions during pandemic. So that is all of 1 to 12 years of age. Let us move to the next one. Yes, here we go to the most crucial part of our topic, that is teens and youth. From 13 years of age to 25 years of age of women. So both of them would be experiencing either school life or college life. The mental health problems and coping up ways would also be the same. All medical journals and other science journals are also referring to the same. A very first mental health problem is boredom. The reason is they have their social movement restricted, hence a stagnant life is created. No student entertains or loves a stagnant life. So as and also a very another important mental health problem or mental health illness is loneliness. University of Oxford's Achieving Resilience during COVID-19 study, that is ARC study, states that 13 to 18 years of children report high level of loneliness, especially women. So that is the reason why they turn aggressive to their family members or to their kith and kin. And another important mental illness is that FOMO, which is fear of missing out. So what is fear of missing out? Which is nothing but phobia of missing out in social media. Nowadays they're restricted, the social movement is restricted, that is physical movement is restricted. So they do often surf online, they do often be clinging to just to all social media sites. If they're really busy in social media, there are chances that they might develop a mental health disorder called as fear of missing out. Whereas again I'll be repeating, phobia of missing out and social media platform, eventually it becomes addiction. For example, if a girl of 18 years is posting her picture on Facebook, and immediately she wants 1,000 likes and 1,000 comments, but unfortunately not. After 2 minutes and 3 minutes and 5 minutes, she'll be waiting for 10 minutes, even 15 minutes. But then she would develop FOMO, a phobia of missing out in social media. So she would be updating another picture, or she would be updating another post, and what happens is she would be checking social media once in a while. So that eventually becomes addiction to basically to the social media. It is better not to develop FOMO. All right. Now I'll be telling you the coping up ways of all mental health during pandemic, or how to protect during pandemic. The very first thing is, parents really are advised to support remote online classes, either school or college. Please support online. Give them support for their online classes. Create a good ambience for their online classes without any noise, or just ask them what are they in need of to have a pleasant online classes, etc. Encourage them to have online certificate courses. Ask them to surf various websites like Coursera, Swayam, NPTEL, and to know there are even so many other certificate courses sites as well. They would be giving you online certificates by paying some money. So it is better. Even there are certain courses which are available for free of cost. Kindly make your children, or maybe youths and teens are mature enough to understand this, go develop your skills. There are so many online certificate courses. Develop yourself, develop your personality. And the next thing is, if you are really aggressive, you should practice mindfulness. That is, go for meditation, yoga, or whatever is in, whatever you can do it to keep your mind very calm, you can do it. I had preferred applications like Headspace, Sanvelo, Moodpath, Happify, etc. And I also encourage you all to play indoor games and exercise daily. Exercise is not always necessary, to go for a gym. You can even go for there are so many YouTube videos on mild exercises and fitness programs. You can even join it, and you can keep your mind very peaceful and calm. The next is DIY and crafts. Do it yourself. So and crafts, there are so many your DIY YouTube videos, you can just check it. And a very important or maybe interesting concept to discuss is decluttering and minimalism. Decluttering is nothing but to remove unnecessary items, especially, maybe say, I'll give you an example of home. It is nothing other than, it is nothing other than of cleaning your home. And minimalism, there's basically two difference between decluttering and minimalism. Decluttering is, action, an action, whereas minimalism is a lifestyle. I'll give you another example. I wanted to travel light. That is a minimalist theory. I am a minimalist. I wanted to travel light, maybe taking a very simple and simple things to be carried in a single handbag, etc. Okay. So decluttering is removing unnecessary items. You can help your parents by cleaning your home, or practice decluttering and minimalism theories. You can just surf online for further details. And go for cooking, dancing skills, development. It is really necessary. If you love dancing, who stops you? Go for dancing videos. Watch it dance and develop your cooking skills. That will be a very useful skill throughout your lifetime to protect your health. And start reading books and start writing books. Start writing blogs, articles, or whatever you are in, whatever you love to do it. The next is distress tolerance skills, which is a very important way to cope up with the mental disorders. There are distress tolerance skills courses, even concepts available online. You can go for the courses. And listening music and watching watching movies would also help in coping up with all the mental health disorders. That's actually a very way to calm down your mind. And you can also cope up all the mental illness by practicing meditation or yoga alone. Okay, I'd be moving to the next. Indeed, here is one more significant topic, that is pandemic mental health of pregnant women and new moms. I had mentioned the age as 25 to 30 years. It might even vary. I had given the mental disorders as anxiety and stress. Yes, anxiety and stress are the very common mental disorders for all ages of women. And of course, in pregnancy, and new moms will face lots of anxiety and stress because of their hormonal changes. I had also mentioned traumatic births that cause because of the pandemic, perinatal and postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis. Both these three are the disorders that happen once a woman has delivered a child. Postpartum and perinatal depression are nothing but the depression that happens before and after delivering the baby. Postpartum psychosis is a very rare but a serious mental health illness that can affect a woman soon after the delivery. The perinatal postpartum psychosis, these disorders are already in existence for a pregnant woman or a new mom, whereas in pandemic the rate of postpartum depression, PP, traumatic births, anxiety and stress had rise to a very high level. So that is the reason why pregnant women are always advised by the government, WHO and all healthcare institutions to stay safe during this pandemic. And there are always ways, solutions for a problem. And here are the ways to how to cope up with the problems. Proper family and medical care can be considered as the best treatment for the pregnant women and new moms. And the next is psychotherapy, which can be given for them, which is nothing but use of psychological methods to have a personal interaction with them to overcome their own problems in their desired way itself. And the next is interpersonal therapy and medication, we call it as IPT. It is the IPT improves the quality of an interpersonal relationship and social functioning to help reduce their distress. And the last one is medication, so which is always needed for all women, and of course for pregnant women and new moms. Yes, it is medication. Follow the medication properly as directed by or as prescribed by your physician. And one more thing for this pregnant women and new moms, just don't get panic at all for anything. It is a very pleasant feeling to give birth to birth to a soul. It is, you can be really happy enough, be calm enough, do meditation, do yoga, and keep your mind calm enough so that you can enjoy your pregnancy even during this pandemic. Don't get panic at all. Everything is pandemic. We are going to expect new normalcy soon. We are already experiencing new normalcy. Maybe we are going to soon experience the post corona days. Wait for those days. Please be calm, give pleasant, read good books for your child, so that a child will hear from the womb, and go for a pleasant walk, take a deep breath, and don't have any don't stress yourself for any reason. Just be calm by following all the ways whatever I had mentioned, and the rest to have been advised by your doctor. Yes, here goes the most sensational concept in our topic, that is women belonging to 30s to 50s. I am including both job going women and homemakers. And for job going women, it is obviously a Herculean task, whereas I should say it is women, they can be called as work at home and work from home, so which means that is double the burden. As I already mentioned, that is nothing but Herculean task for them. And it is also a Herculean task for all homemakers, because all would be at home, mandating you to prepare this, prepare that, clean house, take care of children, support online classes, and support other certificate courses for them. And they would not have been going to the summer schools, so you would be the teachers at home, you would be the counselors at home, you would be the nurses at home. So you'd be playing multiple roles. And there are, of course, if I say multiple roles, that's the reason. There would be, of course, certain mental disorders out of it. The first is psychological distress. A very main thing is lack of sleep. They if you don't have enough sleep, that would obviously lead to a psychological distress, wherein that always turn to be an anxiety, depression, stress, etc. A prolonged depression or anxiety would always be fatal for a woman, so it should always be medically treated. The next one is PTSD, which I had already stated to you, post-traumatic syndrome, whereas that should always be taken care of by the kids and kin or the family members about PTSD, that whether a woman is undergoing it, etc. How to cope up the pains which they are undergoing during pandemic, or the mental disorders which the women from 30s to 50s are undergoing during pandemic. You can share your household work. Please share your household work with your family. Don't expect perfectionism. That is okay to be imperfect. Let them start. Maybe your sister or brother or children or your husband. Let them start working. They'll get perfectionism, eventually. Let it be imperfect, but try to share your work. Shared care will always give you life. The next one is personal growth. Give some time for yourself, introspect yourself, think, and you know try to know what you are in need of. Take care of your personal hygiene, take care of your personal health, take care of your personal hobbies, etc. So that should always be tuned enough. If you are a job going woman, so of course you can go for any extra online certificate courses, or you can even they go for a teach online classes for whatever skills you have, and based on whatever skills you have. And for both homemaker and job going women, it is always advised that either prefer to develop certain skills, say DIY or crafts or gardening, etc., that will relax your mind. And a very important aspect here is time management. Manage your time, and even let it be decluttering, or if you are a minimalist, it is always time management that will fetch you fruits. There are certain websites like online career a community, career trends, work it daily, etc., etc. So those sites, if you just go visit those sites where they are offering you the desired careers, and you can choose whatever you want and you can progress ahead. So it is always necessary for you to take care of yourself with the shared care, and personal growth is always necessary. Start doing yoga, meditation, and you can, if you love dancing, dance. Just play a song and you can dance even for 15 to 20 minutes. That's a very good exercise. Go for cycling or go for a walk, do gardening. So those things will will lighten up yourself. So that's really needed. And 30s to 50s, here I'm ending it up, but whereas more than 60 or above 60 to maybe even 80 or 90, it is always advised that take precautions and be calm. Don't panic. Make your leisure time. See to it that you are developing your personal skills, and you can learn at whatever age you are. So yes, we are moving to the way forward and concluding remarks. Before taking you to the way forward, let me just talk about these two great personalities whom I love always. The first one is Greta Thunberg, and the next is the fictional character Portia from Shakespeare's play The Merchant of Venice. Greta Thunberg, yes, some of you would have guessed, was a Person of the Year in Time magazine 2019. She's just a 17 years old environmental activist. She gained international recognition for promoting the existing climate change crisis. She knows to stand up for her rights no matter about the barriers at all. And moving to the fictional character Portia. Portia is a very witty role given by Shakespeare in the Merchant of Venice play. She is a lawyer, though disguised. She knows how to protect her rights brilliantly while arguing with Shylock. She knows how to tackle the situation. She knows how to find solution for the existing problems. If both of them can stand for their, rights and well-being, why can't we? In order to know our rights and well-being, we are supposed to introspect ourselves. Introspection is nothing but you have to analyze what is there in your mind, and what gives you pleasure, that is what is your passion, what you are supposed to become as. And introspection will give you, or will pave the way for your best healthy life. after introspection, you can develop your new skills, and you have to create positive energy from yourself or from within, and you have to prioritize your own health by following proper diet procedures and maintaining healthy relationship with the kids and kin and your family, and physically and mentally active always. That is a very much needed the way forward, or the way to cope up with all kind of I should say kinds of mental disorders or mental illness. And you are supposed to build all healthy habits and hobbies. That's really needed. And introspection, or whatever I had just mentioned here, can be considered as the collective remedy for the mental health and mental illness. Maybe as a concluding remark, I should say that human beings, especially women, they have very much enormous power in controlling their own activities, maintaining the family. They have Herculean powers to tackle all problematic situations. So in the same way, each and every one of us should not face mental illness. If there is any stress or anxiety or depression, just seek help from others. Let's talk. Come on, sit, talk to the your kith and kin, or talk to others. Just tell them what is your problem, or go to a doctor. Just have him or have him or her give you prescribed medicines, and then move ahead happily in your life. And here is the end of the topic. Maybe in the next slide I had given you a video for 1 minute, which will which is considered as a compilation of whatever we had dealt with so far. It is just a very simple and compilation of what is mental health and how to overcome the mental illness, etc. So maybe the video would help you to recollect whatever we had seen so far. And I had also given certain references. The references can be gone through. Thank you. Yes, as a lawyer and an assistant professor of law, I'm really proud enough that I am an alumna of English, APA College, and I take this special opportunity to thank convener Dr. N. Bhuneshwari Madam and the coordinators who took very strenuous efforts in conducting this program, and also the management for providing me this wonderful opportunity. I thank everyone once again. Thank you.
A pleasant wishes to all. On behalf of Women's Cell of Arulmigu Palaniyandavar Arts College for Women, Palani, I extend a great thank to everyone who supported for the success of this one-day national level gender equity program on psychic level and mental stability of women during COVID-19. It gives me immense pleasure and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorial event. I thank to our management for providing the opportunity. Then I would like to convey my heartfelt thank to our beloved principal Dr. N. Bhuvaneshwari Madam, Arulmigu Palaniyandavar Arts College for Women, Palani, for providing me chance to organize this one-day national level gender equity program. Next, I would like to special thank to Mrs. P. Selvi Madam, Associate Professor and Head, PG and Research Department of English, IQAC Coordinator. Then I would like to convey my special gratitude to the resource person Mrs. M. Tiba, Assistant Professor of Law, Tamil Nadu National University, Tiruchirappalli, for that knowledge-built valuable lecture. Next, I would like to convey my sincere thank to our Women's Cell coordinators, Dr. S. Tamilarasi, Assistant Professor of Tamil, PG and Research Department of Tamil, and Mrs. L. Karthiyayini, Assistant Professor of English, PG and Research Department of English. Finally, I would like to thank our college staff members, students, participants, and last but not the least, our beloved audience to making this webinar as a grand success. Once again, I thank to one and all presence here. Thank you.